Hi, welcome to Mindful Conversations. I'm Greg Dwyer. My guest today is James McCrea. I met him about 3 months ago. A good friend of mine, Chris Langle, and I did a show together, and he was the photographer, and we got speaking, and I realized that not only is he a great photographer, he's also a great marketer. James, thanks for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
So you're a young guy, 26 years. How did you get involved in photography? What's your story?
I started photography around like my sophomore year of high school. I was actually just doing video work for one of my friends. He was like a rapper or artist, and he said, "I'm looking for a camera guy." I said, "Well, I like cameras. I'll film you." And then I started loving it, and I said, "You know what? I can make this a business, and I can make this something I really, really want to do." And I learned photography.
So you're an entrepreneur as well.
Yes, sir.
I saw your background because Chris is a friend of mine, and I saw what you did on the road with him. And I thought to myself, this is A footage. This is wonderful footage.
Yeah.
It made him look great. It made you look good. How did you do that? How did you put that all together?
A lot of it was just learning what his vision is, as well as putting my vision into it and my understanding of what his vision is. And then spending a lot of time with him, talking on the phone like, "Hey, what do you want? What do you need from me? What can I do to make this better?"
Right.
You know, and then we sat down and everything pieced up really well.
Besides Chris, who are some of the people that you worked for? I mean, maybe famous people or not famous. Are they models? Are they people that just want to promote their brand? I mean, what's your audience for you?
I don't really aim for one audience.
Okay.
I do pretty much everything. I do model stuff, I'm doing weddings, I'm doing clothing brands, I'm doing film. So my client list is really like spread it out. That's it's
great.
not one group that I'm working with, but
Okay.
recently I've been working with a lot of film work. So I just did a retirement party for a guy that just retired from the Air Force.
Oh, wow.
So that was a big event for me, and it was
Okay.
very good.
Now, when it comes to marketing, is it really important just to say, I only want to work with this one market, or in the case of what you're talking about, just spread yourself out to everyone, or what do you think about that? I've heard both sides of this.
I mean, in my case, just because I'm a photographer, I'm always dealing with people.
Okay.
It's nice to really spread out and learn everything about where I'm going to be shooting at.
Okay.
But a lot of times it's just really, I started with just picking my area, just where I live at, growing my brand there. So whoever picks up and they go anywhere else, now my name is constantly being brought up, which brings interest, and now I'm spreading out.
Wow.
Yeah.
So not only are you a visionary when it comes to being a photographer, you got a mind for business, you got a mind for marketing. And the one thing that really shocked me was we were talking about website design, and you said you don't even bother. Do you even have a website?
No.
You don't have a website. And you're doing this full time?
Yeah.
Without a website?
Without a website.
See, to me, now I'm a little older than you. To me, I thought that anybody that's ever in business needs to have a www.com. No?
I mean, maybe like 10 years ago. Like we can say 5 years ago.
Okay.
Now it's social media is like the biggest website you can have. When I go, like we talked about when I first met you, when I get recommendations, they ask, "What's your social media follower?"
Okay.
They're not asking for my website.
They're not asking for the website. So like if someone were to call me up and say, "What's your social media website?" I'd say on Facebook I have 4,500 friends. They don't care about that, or maybe that's okay, or that's just elementary.
See, with the friend list, you can have 5,000 friends, doesn't mean you have 5,000 followers.
Right.
So now they're going to ask you, okay, you have your friends, what is your actual social media?
2 people.
Yeah. And then they'll say, okay, well, you have 2 people, we'll get back to you.
So what's the difference between 4,500 people on Facebook who are not really my friends, a lot of these people I've never met, versus people that are following me? What does it mean to have followers? Meaning they're following my tweets, they're following the Twitter? Explain this to me.
With the follower, depending on, like you said, Facebook, it's more with Facebook, it's impressions. So say you can have 45 followers, but if they're reaching out to 500 people, your views are now up, but only having 45, which sparks interest. Okay, how is this guy with 45, followers spiking at 7,000, where we have people that have 1,500 or 5,000 followers that only spike at 500?
Right.
So it's more so impression.
So I'm hoping to ride the wave of your success.
Hey, have fun, man. It's for everyone.
I'm just kidding. So talk to me about YouTube. Is YouTube something that has gone by the wayside, or do you think do you have a platform there?
I started with a platform there.
Okay.
And then I stopped.
Why did you stop?
Because Instagram and Twitter, they offer all that.
What do you mean? It's the same thing?
No. So if you tune in on Instagram, I put my best work out on Instagram.
Okay.
YouTube, they have certain violations that you can't do. You can't use marketing and,
You can't?
certain things like music. I put a lot of music behind my videos when I post. from artists that I like, that inspire me.
And they're, you know, copyrighted and you can't do it. Okay,
well,
that
with
makes
Instagram,
sense.
they make you check off and you have to actually sign a waiver to
Okay.
use them. But
Gotcha.
with YouTube, it'll be up there for a week and then it'll pull it. So now I lose views on top of, you know, everything that I put out.
So the only music you could use there is music that you bought or you have royalty free. So now these other two platforms, are they video or is it just limited with text? I mean, how does it work?
Well, with Instagram, it's an app.
Okay.
So you sign in, you make your Instagram page, you sign in, and you're following based by this or who you follow.
Okay.
So for example, with my Instagram, I get a lot of my business through Instagram. And it's more so, that's my portfolio right there.
That's amazing.
Without having a physical portfolio.
Wow.
You see all my pictures, my videos, and my following.
On Instagram?
On Instagram.
So if someone wanted to look at it, how do they get a hold of you? How do they follow you?
With my Instagram, you will literally, if you're on Instagram in the app, you'll look up JMP_certified.
Okay.
That stands for James McCrea Photography.
Okay.
And as soon as you sign in, you'll see all my work, from events to model base to videos to everything I do. I'm very active on my live. So if I'm at a photo shoot or even at an event, you get to be hands-on with me. You see what I'm doing. I'm showing you my vision of, hey, this is how I prepare for a shoot or an event or even this show, you know, and they can interact like, hey, we loved you on that show. Let's reach out again. Or they can say, hey, it wasn't for you.
Wow. Wow. So people who are stuck in a mode like, say, Facebook, and they're hoping that Facebook's going to get them famous with a Facebook Live, that's pretty much obsolete?
No, I said it's not because a lot of people don't know that Facebook owns Instagram.
Oh, they do?
So
I didn't know
now
that. I didn't
they're
know.
linked. So if you have an Instagram page, you can click on your Instagram, go to settings, and it'll bring you back to your Facebook page.
Oh my goodness, I didn't know that.
So now your following from Instagram is going to Facebook.
Okay.
I started my Facebook page 3 months ago. I only had 10 people following.
3 months ago you
3 months, yeah.
3 months ago.
3 months ago.
Okay, how many people you have now?
500.
Okay, wow.
Just because everyone sees it through my Instagram, and they're like, oh, I may not want to, you know, see just the model stuff. I want to see events and really tune in what he has coming on. Like this show was posted. They follow, they see who interacts with it.
Wow. So what's the difference between Twitter and Instagram? Is Twitter limited to a certain amount of text? How does that work?
Well, I mean, Twitter is more like, I compare it to like a blog back in the day.
Okay.
Where it's mostly just text, like you said.
Right.
Where an Instagram is a visual. I'm not big on Twitter. I'm not like a
because
big
you're a
Twitter
photographer.
person. Exactly. I'm a visual guy.
Okay, visual guy.
Instagram's me. But if you really want to reach out, Twitter has a great marketing program.
Okay.
Marketing through Twitter will get you so much because a lot of people are in tune with what's going on.
What about LinkedIn? Do you spend any time there at all? Or no?
I have one.
Okay.
I don't though.
Okay.
Because most of my business is coming through social media.
Okay. So have you ever had like a 9-to-5 job? Have you ever worked for someone else?
Yeah.
Okay, so you've done that. So what was the transition like going from working whatever you did into being, because you're 26 years old and you're doing full-time work here, you're your own boss.
Yep.
What was that transition like?
It wasn't a hard transition. It was just mostly applying what you learned, because I worked in fast food. So you're dealing with people.
Yeah.
So you learn what you learn, the fast pace and the communication with people, and just apply it into what you do day to day.
Right.
So now I know how to have a conversation with you, and now
for
it's
you.
mostly just selling you on what I do.
Well, see, most young people, you know, maybe people 18, 15, 20, they're so much into the social media that they don't know how to do what you just said, which is amazing that you have a mind for social media, but you also have a mind for real conversation and being able to connect. I mean, to me, that's worth $1 million.
I mean, with the younger age too, I grew up in a weird age where, you know, the internet came in, but I also grew up in the age, or I was younger in the age where we didn't have all that. We just were outside in communication, and hey, let's go out and play outside. Now, a lot of these 18-year-olds, they grew up on just being on their phones.
Right.
So that's normal to them.
Yeah, when I was a kid, we only had rocks. That was it. We had no internet. I mean, I remember being in high school, and this is the 80s or the late 70s, where we would literally pick up a phone, dial a number, and this was New Fairfield, Connecticut, and then take the phone and put it on the computer stand, and then it would buzz, and it would connect to the computer. And we're talking DOS. We're not talking Windows. We had to learn programming. And I thought, I don't even think this is going to catch on, but look what happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
So you've been doing photography for how many years full time?
As a business for about actually 7 years now.
Wow.
But as a photographer, 9.
Okay. Now, I'm confused. 7 years as a business, but only 9 years as
shooting. Just me learning what I do.
Oh, I see.
Tuning my craft.
Gotcha.
And then the business side came. I said, I'm gonna make this a business, 2 years, you know.
Excellent, excellent. So let's talk a little bit about photography. If someone wanted to get into photography as like a hobby or maybe to do it as a business, what kind of advice would you give folks? Join a course, go to school? What's the thought process?
I mean, it's really not a process, it's all vision.
Okay.
So I would just say stick to your vision.
Okay.
Because I started as, like I said, a hobby. I just like taking pictures and filming.
Right.
And then I said, you know what? This is something I can do. I really love doing this.
Right.
Why not take the extra step?
Right.
But you see people that take it as a hobby and then they become great photographers. And now they're the top photographers because it's their vision.
Yeah.
So I would say don't change your vision. Just keep shooting. You'll learn your craft. You'll learn what your style is. And, you know.
Okay. I have a friend of mine, his name is Elijah. He's probably like a young guy, college age, you know, and he's been taking photos for years. What kind of advice would you give him from going from being an amateur to being a pro like you? What would be the steps, do you think?
Communication.
Communication?
Yeah.
All right, tell me more about that. I love communication.
Communication. Don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone.
Okay.
Everyone's very in tune with what's going on social media.
Right.
Sometimes you have to go out and reach out and touch people and really, hey, this is my story. I invest into it. Can you invest into it as well? You know?
I love that.
So it's communication, and that's how you build your clientele. They understand that it's not just a business, and now it's a friendship and a family.
So you're telling me it's a story.
Yes.
That your brand is your story.
Absolutely.
So tell me your story. Do you have a rags to riches story? What's the thing that you have that you tell people when you communicate with them?
I just have the story of working hard.
Working hard.
Hard work always pays off. You may
Okay.
not be the talented, most not have the best equipment, but if you work hard and don't be afraid to tell people, hey, I work hard for this and this is what I want to sell you. Can you invest into it?
Excellent.
It pays off.
Wow.
It took me 9 years of actually shooting and learning myself,
Yeah.
you know, and then 7 years as a business to really be like, you know what, this is my brand now. Let's roll with it.
Wow, that's amazing. I just took a class online from a good friend of mine, Ken, that does a class on branding and marketing, and we talked about brand. How much do you think your character has to do with your brand, or your brand has to do with your character? Do you think there's a relationship with
I think
that?
it's 100% like one.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because when people look at your brand, they're invested into you as a person, correct?
Right.
So if you're, I guess, snobby, or if you don't like people, it comes off like that.
You people can
Yeah, they
taste
read
it or
it
feel
and
it or read it.
they
right.
kind of push back. But if you're really in their face and really like loving and embracing and hey, I just want you to respect what I do, you know, and show love that, you know, this is what I do and I love doing it, I'm passionate doing it. You know, they fall into that and they tune in and they want to be a part of that.
It's like hypnosis.
Absolutely.
Why did you say yes? Do you know a little bit about that?
Yeah, yeah. Dealing with Chris, you know, he's been
okay.
a client. I've been around a little bit.
Gotcha.
But I understand.
So I've only known you a few times. We've done this interview. We're doing it now. What's your character? How would people describe you?
Depends if you're getting James or you're getting the actual business side. But if you're getting James, creative. Very, very. I could be fun at times. I could be serious at times. You know, depending on what the situation is.
Right.
But I'm gonna give you the honest truth on how I feel.
Cool.
And sometimes it comes off rude, sometimes it doesn't. But I'd rather be honest with you than not.
Well, I've seen you work. I've seen you work with Chris, and I know you've done some photos with me. And I know you're really serious. You're very focused. You're a visionary. And like a friend of mine said to me when we saw you do the work, this guy knows what he's doing. Like, back off. This guy is a professional. Like, he's a pro, which I guess comes just primarily just with experience.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So we're going to take a break in 1 minute, but before we do that, explain this this sweater that you're wearing. Is this your colors?
Yeah, well, it's just my name. I figured if I'm going to wear anything, I might as well wear my name. You know?
Now, do you print a lot of these, and do you use them on the shoots, or do you give them away?
Just for marketing, if I want to promote. I'll do a set, like I'll have a sponsor where it's 20 at a time. And then,
and did you pick the colors red and white specifically?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Well, that's cool. Well, we match. I love black. I wear red, but it's really because of the deck of cards, you know, the clubs, the spades, the hearts, and the diamonds. We will take a break for 2 minutes, and we'll be back with James to talk about being an entrepreneur. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Greg Dwyer with Mindful Conversations. We're talking with my good friend James McCrea. We're talking about business. We're talking about being an entrepreneur. We're talking about being a photographer. So, this business, I'm sure it gives you the opportunity to travel all over the place.
Yeah.
So where have you been and where are you going?
Well, I got a couple spreads lined up where I'm going. The first stop's in Houston. That'll be September 13th to the 15th.
Okay.
And then I'll be in New York and the 13th to the 15th. And then the last stop being LA would be
Wow.
the 13th to the 15th.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So like when you book these, do they pick up your travel? Do they pick up the hotel? Do they pick up all the expenses?
It really depends on what like the contract consists of. A lot of times I have them, if they pay for me to fly out there, I'll just book my own hotel. And,
Okay.
Cause depending on what I want to do for the night. But a lot of times I just have them fly me there and fly me back. Just make sure I get there and get home safe, you know.
Now, are you like bonded? Are you insured? Do you have an LLC? Are you independent? Did you set up a structure with all of this?
No, I'm independent. I decided to stay independent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Any reason why, without maybe revealing any secrets?
No, I just feel like the independent rule was easier for me. I didn't want to have any studio or any company own the work that I work so hard to, you know, actually produce out there and then take my following and, you know, I lose everything. So that was kind of my reasoning for that.
Okay. Well, you talked about independence. You're 26 years old. You have a business. You don't have a boss.
Yeah.
And you're your own boss.
Yes.
So what's that like? I mean, do you have days when you think to yourself, I don't want to do this, or I'm not motivated?
I mean, I have days where I'm just tired.
Sure.
I'm drained. You know what? A lot of times I just look at my clientele list and I see all the work that I put in.
Okay.
And then those are the days that really push me. They're like, you know what? You got to get up. You got to get up in 3 hours.
Right.
After not sleeping for 2 days for editing and whatever the situation is. But yeah, I have those days where it's just like, oh, I just need a break. But you got to fight through those days.
And it's a lot of work. I mean, it's glamorous. You're doing a model shoot, right? Or you're in New York City, you're going to LA, right? But it's the behind the scenes of the editing. People don't realize, like, we're taping this right now and this is taped to live. So whatever we do is what's going to show up, right, on television. Yeah. We don't really spend a lot of time editing this here. But when I take it back home and then I upload it to Facebook or maybe YouTube, it might take a couple hours.
Yeah.
You know, so a lot of times you're going to spend time behind the scenes doing things that people don't recognize as, is it billable hours, or you must bill it? You must bill the time?
Yeah, a lot of times. Sometimes I give out like a flat rate depending on, I deal with situations too. I understand that, you know, people have situations and money may not be there. So I give them a rate. If they can kind of match it, that is that.
Okay.
You know.
And how much of your business is word of mouth? Just you go and do a shoot, someone says you're a great guy, you got great branding, you got to hire this guy, or is it just all social media, or is it people telling people verbally?
I mean, a lot of it is, I would say like at least 80% of it is social media.
It is.
The other 20% comes from me just actually going out and talking to people.
Which is cold calling kind of thing.
Absolutely.
And
I mean, I have business cards as well. I gave you a business card.
Yeah, it was a great business
out.
card. Yeah.
But even with the business card, it has my work on it and then it has my social media on it.
Right. It doesn't have a website.
Exactly.
I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. A friend of mine kids me because I have a couple business cards, but one of my business cards just simply has my name. Doesn't have a telephone number, doesn't have an email, doesn't have a website. And so when people look at it, they're like, well, how do I get a hold of you? And my response, if I want them to, is I'll either write down my telephone number in one case, or in some cases I'll say, just Google me. You'll find me.
Yeah,
you know? But you don't even have a web presence as far as a web domain name. I mean, we can't even find you that way.
No.
That's amazing.
So it's 80% social media. Like
Right.
booking through social media, I have a lot of weddings I get through social media.
Right.
The retirement party I got through social media.
Right.
So it's just giving them the option to see everything that I do, and they choose if they want to invest, and they can.
So give me some advice. I'm 56, you're 26. So I scrapped the website, and I'm a motivational speaker, and I get on Instagram, right? I set up my account, and then I probably start putting, pictures or videos out there? And how do I get people to follow me, like event planners? How?
So what you want to do is you want to open up your account as a business account.
Okay.
A lot of people just open up an account and don't realize till, you know, they're actually posting that it's a business account.
Okay.
And when you get that business account, a lot of sponsorships will pop up.
Sponsorships.
They'll ask, hey, do you want to sponsor your work for it'll be maybe $10, but it's sponsoring around the world now for a week.
Really?
Yeah.
And so a whole bunch of people are going to see it?
Yeah, because now when you sign into Facebook, the first thing, or not Facebook, I'm sorry, Instagram, the first thing you see is your video.
Wow.
Because it's sponsoring.
Okay.
They're paying and taking the time and investing to put your name out there just for you.
Wow.
Through your following, through where you live at.
Okay.
In the local areas.
That's better than having an agent.
Yeah.
Okay.
You are your agent now when you do that.
Yeah.
Because they give you the rate too, that you could say, hey, listen, do I want to do 50 miles for only $3, or I can go to Dubai and pay $50?
No way.
They give you that.
Wow. Wow.
And you become trending.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the days of going on Facebook and then putting out a Facebook ad and seeing a radius of where you want that ad to go may not be worth the money.
It depends.
Okay.
Like you say, you're a motivational speaker, so it's a 30-year gap between us. Your crowd, may be mostly on Facebook.
Oh, that's true.
No,
I doubt if they're on Facebook. I think they're on LinkedIn. That's
or LinkedIn, yeah.
They're probably on LinkedIn.
But I would think if they're going to search you, the first thing they're going to say is, oh, let me pull up his Facebook, and not say, hey, let me pull up his Instagram.
Right. And then they're going to say, what kind of social media following does he have?
Yeah.
And they're not looking at friends on Facebook. They're looking
at your actual following.
Wow. Now, do you do consulting for people, for businesses, or you just do this on your own?
No, just do this on my own.
Okay. And it sounds like, and it feels like you're passionate about this. Like you're passionate about the creative side of being a photographer, but you also, I think you really like reaching out and growing your business through this.
It's exciting to see how many people from different places and different walks of life that's willing to invest into what you do.
Wow.
Just
sight unseen, just because of your posting and your photos.
Yeah.
You're that good. Okay, so if someone wants to get a hold of you on social media, what are some other platforms they can follow you on?
They can also follow me on like a Facebook page, like I said, I did 3 months. That'll be just James McCrea Photography.
Okay.
And the same thing that I post on Instagram, it's usually on the Facebook, but I post more of the actual events and stuff and the actual HD videos that you can look at.
Wow.
The high quality stuff.
Cool.
Well, Instagram only gives me a 30-second gap, where Facebook may give me a 3-minute gap. So you can see the whole event and not just a piece of it.
Wow. I remember people 20 years ago as photographers just putting all of their work, all their albums, all of their videos on a website, and that was the place that people went to look. Why isn't that working anymore?
The thing with the website is that, at least sort of like my age, they look at the website as it's ancient, or it's why would I pay for a website when I can do the same thing and be on my phone all day?
Oh. But are you on your phone all day?
Oh, I'm on my phone a lot.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because my business goes through there. So I don't have where in my case, I don't need a business phone because it's all Instagram. So it's messages and, hey, can I get you for this day? And
so when do you shut this thing off? Because it seems to me that you're so connected to the social media. Do you ever take a Sabbath? Do you ever take a day where you say, all right, listen, I'm going to put this over here, not going to get back to you for another day? Or are you afraid you're going to miss business?
Right now, yeah.
You're hungry.
I'm 24 hours. My phone goes off 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm up. I'm a night person anyway, so I don't sleep. But it's 24 hours. Usually, if I'm having dinner or anything, I'll put it to the side. But for the most part, if it's not actual Instagram, it's phone calls because clients actually calling in.
Wow. See, that would drive me crazy. I knew a guy from, I think it was Austin, Texas, and he said this. He goes, if you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to work for yourself, you don't want to work for someone else, that you're going to have to work a half a day. And I go, oh, that's great. He goes, no, you don't understand. A half a day is 12 hours. Get it?
That,
yeah, and you're probably working more. I had one guy here, Kevin Lane, and he said he went to bed like 2 o'clock in the morning and got up at 4.
Yeah.
So
I've had those days too.
You have?
Yeah. Working with Chris, I've had those days.
Oh, you have?
Because he's one of our toughest clients. Because he's very detailed on what he wants. Yeah. Because anything can ruin a trick or so.
Right.
I've had those days where I just don't sleep, stay up.
So what drives you? Is it the money? Is it the legacy that you're leaving? Is it the fact that you're independent? Is it the fact that you can create? I mean, what's the thing that drives you to do what? I mean, because this is a lot of work, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing that drives me the most is just really just setting my mark in the game of photography.
The game.
Yeah, and it's a culture. It's a culture. Like Instagram has its own culture of photographers. We all shoot the same models, or we all communicate with one another.
Right.
So we inspire one another.
Okay.
So for me to be that stigma and say, hey, listen, I stayed independent. I didn't sign.
Right.
I didn't let anyone take my work or use it in any sense. And I've been doing it for a while, making good money. This is where we should be at.
Wow.
And people follow it, and now you have photographers traveling at their own expense because they're making the money to do it.
Wow.
So,
when somebody wants to do something like a chef, or they want to be a doctor, a lawyer, a lot of times people go on Google, right, and they'll say annual salary, you know, an airline pilot or a doctor. What's the average salary of an independent photographer? Can you make $100,000? Is it 50 grand? Is it 250,000? Is it? I mean, what?
It varies. It varies because you have to add in the fact area, clientele.
Right.
For example, I'll be shooting in Houston. I've already booked 6 models out there because there's more models out in Houston than there is Connecticut.
Okay.
For every 3 models in Connecticut, there's 15 in Houston.
Wow.
It's a bigger market.
Wonder why Houston has that. And
because
why?
it's a fashion market.
I didn't know that. What about New York City?
New York, it's more high. So when I book in New York, I'm aiming for the high-end models because a lot of times the high-end models are signed to agencies.
Right.
So you have to pay out the agency.
Oh, I see. So you're splitting your profit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if I can find 2 that are just freelance, their following I can take from their following, and now it's a networking thing.
Wow.
So now I don't have to go through the agency.
I admire your thinking. You know, the name of the show is called Mindful Conversations, and you challenge me. I know we're giving people something to think about, but what I love about you is you're an entrepreneur, you're creative, and I mean this with all sincerity. Very few people on this planet have the ability to do something they love, whether it's a carpentry work or a plumber, and also have the marketing mindset. Most people, it's either, I've met people that are artists, they don't know how to market to save them their lives. And I know other people that know how to market and they're terrible at what they do. You, my friend, you have both things going for you.
It's hard.
You are great at what you do, and you're also great as a marketer. The combination is success. And I'm not blowing smoke. I mean this with all. Very few people have that kind of. So in 1 minute that we have left, can you give out a telephone number? Can you give out your website? Well, no, forget the website. That's
I'll just give out the Instagram.
Yeah, give out the Instagram.
So it'll be JMP_certified.
Excellent.
Search that up and my portfolio pop up.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I hope that we gave you something to think about. James McCrea, I think you are a genius when it comes to business.
Thank you.
All right, we'll catch you next time on Mindful Conversations. Greg Dwyer,